Today I thought I'd do a crouch animation. So you go ahead and hit your V key and you're crouching, and then you can move too. And you move quietly. I don't know if you can hear that. And the sound is slowed down too. You can pull out your gun. Bruh, I'm going to go get somebody. And then when you're all done, hit the V key. Boom, you can move around normally. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with that. I have an empty base plate. There's nothing in it. I'm going to go to the avatar tab because I'm going to start working on my animation first. So avatar, rig builder. I'll pick R15, and then I think I'll use this mesh avatar 2012. Cool. Let's move them away from our spawn location. And that hair's got to go because this is just going to be for animating, and the hair's going to mess things up when I try to grab his head. So let's open the rig. Hat 1, gone. And then we'll get our animation editor, select the rig. I'm going to call this crouch. Cool. We'll go to these 3 dots right here. Set animation priority, movement. And then I'm going to hit the 3 dots again, save. And you'll see anim saves appear over here. So you can edit the animation if you need to. Let's see. Click here to continue. I will. All right. Now I have my rotate checked with 15-degree increments. If I select like the lower arm, if you see that little L here, that is because the rotation is on local mode. You could do a Control L to make it global, and then Control L to go to local. I usually use local mode for animations. And we're just going to move that arm up a little bit. Lower arm. And then we'll get the upper arm. Move that out maybe 2 snaps. Let's get this lower arm. That's about right. About the same on both sides. And move that up 2 snaps. Cool. Let's get the leg. That is the upper leg. Upper right leg. 1, 2, 3. Get the lower right leg, which is hard to get. If you have, oh, I got it. And we'll go maybe at a 90-degree bend. Yeah, that works. Get the foot, flatten this out. All right, this is going to be the just crouch stance, right? We're going to do the steps later in a little bit, very soon. Let's move this leg out. Let's grab the lower leg. I can never get the left lower leg for some reason. If you can't, go to this plus, left lower leg. And then you got to find it here. Click. There we go. And we'll move this. Cool. Move the foot up. Nice. All right, his shoulders got to go forward, right? Because he's crouching. Let's go 1, 2, 3 maybe. I think I did 2 in the demo. 3 is probably better. I'm going to look up a little bit. There we go. All right, now we got to move him down a little bit. See, his feet aren't on the ground, but we don't want him to go through the ground. I don't like to use the lower torso in animations, but I will here. Let's hit the move. I'm just going to move him down a little bit to get a keyframe, and then I'm going to look at the lower torso. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to set this to -0.4, right? I played around with it, and the feet don't seem to go through the ground with -0.4 based on how I'm doing my animation. Let's go ahead and collapse that. I'm going to get these keyframes right here. I am going to copy selected. I'm going to move to the 6th frame, and we'll do a paste keyframes, 12th frame, paste keyframes, 18th frame, paste keyframes. So there's going to be a little more control over this than a regular walk animation. If you don't have this timeline, you could change it by hitting that cog. Go to timeline units. I have seconds frames, and I have my frame rate set to 30 frames per second. That will give you a look the same as this. All right, now I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to do the last frame. I might not have said it. I'm going to do the last frame after I alter the first frame because we want them to be identical because we're looping the frame, right? So let's get our scrubber bar, put it here, and we're going to work on this frame. He's going to step forward, right? So we need to get our rotate, and we'll click that Oh, look at that. I got the lower leg and I wanted the upper. Let's move it forward 1. Now, we got it. Yeah, got it. And we'll move that one forward 1. And maybe move that foot down a little bit. Cool. Let's get the other leg. We'll move that back by 1. We'll move the left lower, which we can never get. Left lower leg. And then that foot's in the ground, so I am going to scoot it up. I think we're good like that. I'm half tempted to move it more than 1 click. That's good. Let's get the shoulder too, the shoulder also, and we'll move them forward a little bit on that step. Now this is going to be the intermediate step. This is going to be the next step. So let's grab that upper leg, move it out 1, lower left. Oh, we can never get it. Lower left. 1, foot down 1. Got to get the other leg. That's going back. 1. Ooh, got it. I don't know why the right's easier than the left to get. There we go. And this foot, pop it that way a little bit. Oh, and the shoulder. Let's get a shoulder roll in there. Yeah. All right, now get this first one, right? This the 0 at the 0 mark. You can put the scrubber bar there. You don't really need to. If you get the top thing, you click it. It'll select all of them. You're going to copy selected. Go to the 24th frame. Paste keyframes. We're going to loop this. Let's try it out. Not bad. Foot's going in the ground a little. Nah, not really. I think this is good. All right. Unpause it. But keep this looped, right? Keep that looped. Go to your 3 dots, save it in case you got to modify it. 3 dots again. We are going to publish to Roblox. Cool. Crouch is fine, right? We'll submit. We need this ID, right? It's going to be different. Mine's going to be different than yours. You have to publish under your account if you want your animations to work in your games. All right, so we got that ID copied. Close this. Immediately go down to your server script service. Add a script. On the script, hit the plus. If you don't have animation, do like AN and it'll pop up. I have it under recently used. Animation. Click on the animation. Animation ID, Control V or paste, however you like to paste. Cool. We got that ID in there. We don't want to lose the ID. Now you can rename these, right? I'm going to call this one Crouch. And then this one, I think I'm just going to call this Game Manager, Game MGR. Cool. Let's go ahead and get rid of this window so we have some more space to do some coding. And I'm going to get a reference to my Crouch animation. I'll do local Crouch anim equals script. We should do a wait for child, Crouch, although it's server side, so you probably get that Crouch right away. Let's do a game. Get the player service, player added event, connect that to an anonymous function. Player will get passed in. And then I'm going to do the player character appearance loaded. So this fires after the character is added. And we will connect that to another anonymous function. The character gets passed in. I'll call that char. So let's get the humanoid. Oh my gosh. From the char, we'll do a wait for child, humanoid, and we'll get the animator from the humanoid, local, animator, wait for child, animator, right? And then we're going to stop the tracks that are playing in our animator. So we'll say for, we can do I and V in pairs. We're going to do animator. Ah, got it. Cool. Get playing animations. Of course, it doesn't give you this one. It's the hardest one to spell too. Get playing animation tracks. That's what it is. Do. Make sure that's spelled right. get playing animation tracks. I have a feeling a lot of people make an error on that. So we're going to get the track, which we called V, right? And then we'll stop it. And this is the fade time. So I could do a 0 fade time because it's on startup. All right, now let's get our animate script from the player, from the player's character. So I'll say animate script equals char, wait for child, animate. Now this is where it's going to vary a little bit for R6 and R15. R15 characters, when you're going 16 studs per second, which is the default walk speed, you're actually using the run animation or the running animation. When you're going slow, you're using the walk animation, which normally doesn't happen by default in a game. I'm going to replace the walk with the crouch. So let me go ahead and do an animate script right here. Walk, anim, and then I'm going to get my animation ID and set that equal to our crouch anim dot animation ID. If you wondered how I got that, we can look at our rig, right? Go to our rig, and we have our animate script in the rig, although that's a local script. Because it's a rig, it should be a server script. I don't know why they made that change, why they added it and have it at a local, because it won't work by default. And we're going to go down to, this is going to look just like your player. We're going to go down to where it says walk. Oh, there it is. That's the walk right there. Open that up. That's the walk anim right there. In the walk anim, that's the default ID. I'm going to replace that ID with my animation ID. Cool. Now we're not going to see anything happen yet. We have to do some client-side stuff. Let's scroll down to our starter character scripts, open that up, add a local script, and I might call this like crouch loc. How about that? We don't want to have too many things called the same. All right, in crouch, you guys see that okay? Let me make that a little bigger. Probably should have done that in the other one. All right, in crouch, we are going to get the user input service because we're going to use the V key, right? We'll say game get service, user input service. We're going to get the char, and that's going to be easy because we're in the starter character script. So we could just do script.parent. And then we're going to get the humanoid from the char, wait for child, humanoid. And then let's get the humanoid root part for the running sound. So I'll say HRP, char, wait for child, humanoid root part. And what else? Let's get the running sound. So I'll say run, let's just call it run sound. Keep it short. Run sound, HRP, wait for child, running, right? So that's the run and the walk. And let's go ahead and do a local. We need a flag. Are we crouching or are we not crouching? So I'm going to call it is crouch. Is crouch is going to start out as false because we're not going to start out crouching. I'm also going to get the volume for the steps, right? The default volume. So I'll say run sound dot that's value volume, and then let's get the speed, the playback speed. I'll call it PBS, playback speed, and that's going to be on the run sound. We'll call, oh, it doesn't give you that one too, playback speed. Cool. So when we click on the user input service, we'll get our input began, connect that to an anonymous function. You'll have two variables, right? The input and then the game processing event. I'm not going to do anything with that. Let's just do the input, right? And then what are we going to do? So if input dot key code equals enum dot key code, I'll make it the V key. So you can make it different keys, right? V key. Then let me scroll up a little bit, center that. Let's get our is crouch and make it not is crouch. So if it was true, we'll make it false. If it's false, we'll make it true. We'll say if is crouch, then hum.walk speed, let's slow it down, 5. And that's going to activate the walk animation because we're not at 16 studs per second. We'll get our run sound and we'll get our playback speed, which is normally 2. We'll cut it in half. You could even make it smaller than that, right? So if it's normally 2, you might want to make it like 0.6 or something. But 1 seems to work pretty well. So I'll do run speed or run sound volume. We're going to make it quiet, right? Maybe make it at 0.25. Normally, I think it's at like 0.6 or something. I don't remember them. That's why I saved them off. But I do know this is less, right? About half. All right, so if he's crouched, we're going to do that. Else, we're going to set everything back. Copy. Whoops, paste once. There we go. And walk speed will normally be 16. Playback speed, PBS, volume, vol. All right, let's try this out. We'll hit the play button. And here we go. So when I hit my V key, nothing happens, but when I move, I'm crouching. If I hit my V key again, I'm not crouching. So what we need to do is we need to make a real quick animation. We're going to grab a keyframe from our other one. So when we hit the V key, we're crouched and stopped. We need a crouch stop animation. Not going to be hard. Let's go ahead and do that. Go back to your rig, animation editor, drag it to wherever you want it. Cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the keyframe, the intermediate keyframe, right? That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and copy that. Select the top one, right click, copy selected, come over here, create new. This is going to be crouch idle maybe. How about that? Crouch idle. Cool. Paste keyframes. Good. We can loop it, right? And then we'll hit those 3 dots. Set animation priority. If you hit idle, your movement should overtake the idle. Last update, I noticed that it doesn't do it, but we have a solution for that. So hit idle anyway, and then we'll save it. We're going to have to publish it. Publish to Roblox. And we'll do submit. Nice. Get this ID right there. And we'll do close. All right, I'm going to go down to not the game manager, starter character scripts, crouch loc, hit the plus, animation. Let's call this crouch idle. On crouch idle, do a control V, boom. That should be your new animation ID. Go back to crouch loc. And let's open it up. There we go. Close that. We need to get a hold of that crouch. Let's get our animator. So we have the humanoid. We just need the animator. And we'll do hum, wait for child, animator. And we'll do a local crouch idle script. Definitely wait for child here. Crouch idle. And what else? Let's get the track. Oh my gosh. Local track. You might want to call it crouch track or something. I'm kind of losing it though, so I'm going to keep things easy. Animator, load animation. And that's going to be my crouch idle. Cool. And then down here, if we hit our crouch, we should get our track and play it. All right. And then else, we should stop the track. Now this should work just fine. because the movement animation should overtake the idle animation. For some reason, it's not. So I'm going to add a little more code just to make sure that it works. I'm going to go down here, and whether you're actually running or walking, the event for walk/run is, we'll do hum running connect to an anonymous function. The speed is going to get passed in. We'll say if speed is greater than 0, then track stop. All right, and that way our moving crouch will overtake that. Else if is crouch and speed equals 0, then we'll do track play. And this should work just fine. Let's go ahead and play it. There we go. Let's hit our V. Yeah. All right, he starts moving. Hit the V again. Not moving. V, good. All right, I don't think there's any errors in here. I didn't spend a whole lot of time troubleshooting it. I'm going to try it with the test server. I will pause the video. All right, I got my test server going. Let's hit the V. Cool, you can see that he's crouching over here. Looking pretty sneaky. Nice. And you can see that it's working over here. Let's hit the V again. Awesome. So you want to test it on your test server so that you can see the view from another player, right? And then we're going to go to the game too, make sure it plays there. I'm not going to do it on the video, but I won't post the video before I try it out. So everything should be working fine. Good luck with that. I will see you in the next video.